Media Day, we are talking to our first 6A district of the summer. That's 3-6A, and I got Boswell Head Coach Wes Weaver with me. Coach, let's quickly talk about the district as a whole because everybody might be excited that Trinity's out of it, but now you got some teams that you haven't really seen in a while, like the Mansfield ISD district. That's a district I haven't seen Boswell with in a while. Talk about that and North Crowley. They're going to be North Crowley. So where do you think the Pioneers are kind of fall in that district? How excited are you about the new challenges? And maybe talk a little bit about these Mansfield ISD teams.
Very excited. North Crowley is going to be tough. They do a great job over there with Coach Gates. Losing Trinity and Bell out of our district was a little bit of a shock, honestly. We kind of thought we'd stick together with them. We knew that the possibility of Pascal and Chisholm going down to 5A was there, and that we might get a couple of new teams added into what was still existing in our old 3-6A. But it was a pretty big shakeup, and getting the Mansfield schools. I'm looking forward to it. It's different people than we've typically played. We haven't played Mansfield High, I think, in over 20 years. The last 2 years we've played Mansfield Lake Ridge in non-district, and played Coach Thor's groups, and they're a great offensive team. They have a lot of great athletes on defense. They've been a tough game for us getting ready for district play the last 2 years. So I was glad we kind of lucked into scheduling them the last 2 years, so we kind of get a feel for what Mansfield ISD is going to bring. And we've never played Mansfield Legacy, so they're going to be somebody brand new that Boswell has never faced before, and so that'll be cool for our kids to kind of get to go against some teams that we typically don't get to go against, and it'll be refreshing in that way.
So, Coach, you got the new district, but you also got a little bit of a blow with the new school opening up over there in Eagle Mountain, and you knew that was going to happen, and you weren't quite sure which players were going to go over there. How has that taken a blow to you, and how have you adjusted to maybe losing a couple of your players to Eagle Mountain?
Well, we transitioned as well as we could. Worked real close with Coach Mullins, who got hired at Eagle Mountain. He's a former worker here at Boswell. We were assistants together under Coach Ab, so I know Coach Mullins pretty well, and so that made it easier. But we lost about 25 guys that were in our program, freshmen through varsity, that were part of our program in some form or fashion as a player at different levels. They're going over to Eagle Mountain to help start that program. And so we lost some guys that were starters for us. We lost some guys that potentially could have been starters for us going into this year. But the great thing about being here at Boz is we've got no shortage of kids that are willing to try and willing to compete. And so we've got some new guys that are going to be in new roles. We've got some experience coming back in key positions on offense and defense, but we're gonna look different personnel wise than we did last year.
It almost felt like an extra large senior class graduating, right? You got hit with your senior graduation, then you get hit with what seems like another graduation if you're losing 20 more players. Maybe talk about some of the guys you do have coming back that you're expecting big things from, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Offensive side, we're going to return a 3-year starter in Kyrell Robertson. Very dynamic player, plays slot receiver for us. Does a great job of catching the ball and then being dynamic with it in the open field, and he's hard to bring down. So we're gonna try to find different ways to get him involved in the offense. We have 3 offensive linemen that have good experience coming back. We're gonna have to incorporate some younger guys from the JV into those spots. And so, Bryce Henderson, Traden Obispo, coming back on the O-line. And then we've got, like I said, some guys that really contributed well and grew on the JV last year, on the freshman last year, that we're gonna see if they can play on Friday night. Also, we've got some going to be sophomores at skill positions that were very dynamic for the freshman group, and they've stepped in and they've really competed well against some guys that are older than them, and so we've got some good guys coming back. We'll have a new quarterback, we'll have a new running back, but whether it's Jackson Trammell outside, Peyton Rhodes, Logan Emerson, it's we've got lots of different guys competing to be in those spots where they can help contribute.
Let's flip it to the defensive side of the ball. Maybe talk about a player or two that you expect to step up and play big for you guys.
On the back end, we're gonna have a really good leader, safety, Christian Lassiter. He played for us primarily on special teams last year and played was a backup in the secondary. He had a huge play versus Weatherford that was the difference in the game. He got the safety on that swing pass that they ran down in their end. He was the guy that made that play, and so he's going to be our leader on the back end. We've got some experience coming back on the D line that is going to help transition again some younger guys. So if you thought we were young last year, we're going to be pretty young this coming year too. But there's several sophomores that have a chance to contribute immediately on the varsity level. We've got some guys that are juniors, Anthony Villari, Tiago Torres, that have had a really good offseason. They're doing really well so far in the summer, and they're stepping into those roles in the linebacker core, and so we're gonna have some new fresh faces that are raring to go for their shot at Friday night play with the Boswell Pioneers. So.
Yeah, the thing about having young guys keep getting younger, at some point they're going to get older, and then they'll have that experience that you need. So it's all trial and basis. I guess I'll leave you with this 7-team districts. That means you got the 4 non-district. Who'd you find to play those games, and what do you hope to get out of them?
Yeah, that was the other thing that was shocking. We went from an 8-team district to a 7-team district. So having to find a 4th game proved interesting. We're going to open non-district with Denton Braswell. And then we're going to play Saginaw and Haltom. And then our 4th game, I was able to talk Coach Fleener over at Forney into playing us. It's a northwest side of the DFW area to the southeast side of the DFW area game. But it was something that we were able to find each other at the district realignment and talk about getting that done. And so we're looking forward to it. There, Forney coming off of a state semifinal run in 5A. They're obviously very, very talented. They have a great running back. They're very athletic, and so it's going to be definitely a good test for us, a good prep for us for going into District 3-6A.
Absolutely, and that'll be an interesting district. And one thing about it, North Crowley, we can probably pencil that in, but there's 3 playoff spots to be had, and there's no point in not being the Pioneers to grab one of them. So I appreciate you joining with me, Coach, and good luck this fall.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.